Good evening, everybody. I'm Muriel Bowser. I am Mayor of Washington, D.C. I am joined by the Chief of Police, Peter Newsham, the Ward 4 Councilmember Brandon Todd, and MPD leadership. We are here today at the 4th District Police Station located on Georgia Avenue in Ward 4. I called this press conference to announce the arrest of 2 suspects in 3 homicide cases in the District of Columbia. The first homicide occurred in the 3100 block of Buena Vista Terrace, Southeast, in the 7th Police District on Monday, August the 29th, and resulted in the death of a 23-year-old. His name was Tyler Jarrell McKieran. MPD has arrested Daryl Thompson of Suitland, Maryland, in that case. Mr. Thompson has also been charged with 2 crimes that happened here in the 4th District. He was charged with first-degree murder while armed in the murder of Edward Roberts. That homicide occurred on July 30th, 2016, in the 3500 block of 14th Street. Additionally, Daryl Thompson was charged with assault with a dangerous weapon for a shooting that also occurred on July 30th, 2016 in the 5300 block of Georgia Avenue. I want to thank all the detectives and the police officers who have worked these cases and that have led to the arrest of Daryl Thompson. I also want to announce the arrest of a 18-year-old in Northwest Washington, D.C., who is suspected for the homicide of Kayla Minor that occurred yesterday evening. MPD has arrested Kyler Jones, who turned herself in today for fatally stabbing 17-year-old Kayla Minor yesterday. Chief Newsham will provide a few more details of all that we know on these cases, but once again, I want to thank the detectives and officers of MPD who have worked these cases. Each of them represents a tragedy for our neighborhoods, a tragedy for the people who lost their lives, and a tragedy for our sense of safety in the District of Columbia. We are certainly doing everything that we can to find solutions to any and all crime in the district, but most especially any violent crime. Again, we see a deadly mix of illegal guns, an unaccountable system, repeat offenders, or foolish, childish behavior that has been the result of a neighborhood beef or a childish dispute. And we are trying like crazy in everything that we do to find solutions. Some of them are on the enforcement end, and others of them are on the prevention end. We are grateful to the council for working with us recently on initiatives to hire additional police officers for our neighborhoods and return retired police officers to the force. We're also grateful to members of the community, advisory neighborhood commissioners and the like, who have worked with us to provide 1,200 security cameras all across the District of Columbia. We also appreciate the work of our federal partners, and I was pleased recently to announce a partnership with the Office of the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney to help prosecute violent crime in the district. So when tragedy strikes, there aren't words enough to express sorrow, but we know that the effective ways to bring about justice are to find, arrest, convict, and imprison those who do not value human life. And so again, Daryl Thompson has been arrested and Kyla Jones has been arrested related to these 3 homicides in the district. Chief?
All right, good evening. Just to give you a little bit more detail, first of all, we're very pleased that we can bring these 2 closures. We'll start with the homicide last night. Yesterday evening, about 8 p.m., officers from the 4th District responded to the area of Kansas and Emerson Street for a stabbing. When they arrived, they found a 17-year-old woman suffering from a stab wound to the chest. Life-saving efforts were performed, and the victim, Kayla Minor, was pronounced dead at a local hospital. Earlier today, pursuant to a D.C. Superior Court arrest warrant, 18-year-old Kyla Jones of Northwest D.C. was charged. She was charged with murder 2 while armed. It was learned through the investigative process that each of these young ladies knew each other. There was some kind of a dispute that they had when they exited the bus, which resulted in the stabbing. So this was not a random incident. I want to thank the members of MPD's Investigative Services Bureau and the lead detective in particular, Brian Bradle, who were able to bring this case to a swift closure within 24 hours. In a separate arrest today that the mayor mentioned, we take a repeat violent offender off the streets, a man who's responsible for at least 2 homicides and an assault with a dangerous weapon on the streets of the District of Columbia. On August 29th, Tyler McCurchin was shot and killed in the 3100 block of Buena Vista Terrace Southeast. Tyler was found with multiple gunshot wounds to the body in front of a multi-family residence. Through our investigation, we identified 27-year-old Darrell Thompson as a suspect, and a warrant was obtained for his arrest. Based on the arrest warrant, the U.S. Marshals arrested Mr. Thompson on October 3rd in Livonia, Michigan, as a fugitive from justice. He was extradited to D.C. to face murder charges. Today, Mr. Thompson was picked up from the Marshall cell block and transported to the Homicide branch, where he was charged with first-degree murder while armed. This case was closed by Detective Diane Davis of our Homicide unit. This particular fugitive was also tied to an additional homicide which occurred in the 3500 block of 14th Street on July 30th, 2016 at approximately 3:24 a.m. Officers in the area heard the sounds of gunshots and responded to the area to find our decedent suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to the body. That particular case was closed by Homicide Detective Seamus Brackett. Mr. Thompson was also charged today with an assault with a dangerous weapon for his involvement in a shooting that occurred just prior to that murder. This shooting occurred at 2:40 a.m. in the 5300 block of Georgia Avenue Northwest, and this case was closed by Detective Kevin Decker of the 4th District Detective's Office. Taking these 2 individuals off the street makes the District of Columbia a safer place. I want to add in the last 2 cases, the 3500 block of 14th Street and the shooting that occurred down at the Macumbo, just outside of the Macumbo, we had released video to the public, and I can't tell you how many people came forward with tips in both of those cases. So we want to thank the community for assisting us in bringing this violent offender off the street. We can take any questions. Mr. Todd, did you want to say something?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Chief, and thank you, Mayor Bowser. And I just wanted to take an opportunity to thank you both in the Metropolitan Police Department and all of the detectives and officers for your focused attention on closing these cases and working to keep Ward 4 and D.C. neighborhoods safe. My thoughts tonight are with the families of the victims, and I know that bringing the perpetrators of these crimes to justice is critical. I would also like to thank Ward 4 residents for seeing something and saying something, and your continued dedication to keeping our neighborhoods safe. Together, we can all work together to keep our neighborhoods safe. And some of you have already taken advantage of Mayor Bowser's security camera rebate program. And I am hopeful that more Ward 4 residents will take advantage of that useful program to keep your homes and businesses safe. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Chief.
Yes.
Did this argument on the bus stem from a cell phone?
We can't talk about specifics in the case. And as you know, Shamari, tomorrow when it's presented in court, she was presented as an adult. A lot of that information will become available. We just are not in a position to talk about it this evening. We can say this. The 2 were on the bus. The 2 were known to each other. The assault didn't occur until after they had exited the bus.
Did you review the video on the bus, Chief?
As everyone knows, there is video on the Metro buses in the District of Columbia, and of course that is something we would look into.
Chief Cameron Thompson, DCW 50. In relations to the arrest of Mr. Thompson, can you speak to the motive in the 2 homicides there? Are they related at all?
Again, that information, I will say this, that the 3 cases appear to have some relation. We have an investigative tie to the 3 cases, and that, in particular, that suspect was involved in all 3 of them. A lot more of the detail regarding that as well will become available with the court documents tomorrow.
Where were you able to arrest suspect Tyler Jones today?
Tyler
Jones.
She turned herself in to our homicide detectives. When she became aware of the outstanding warrant, she turned herself in.
What's the spelling of her name, please?
We'll have that in the press release, so you'll have it.
Chief Jay Corker, Channel 7. So that one guy, Daryl Thompson, 2 different homicides in one shooting.
Correct, and as I had stated, 2 of the shootings occurred in the same early morning hours in one day, and then a homicide after that. So you had a shooting actually right down the street from where we are here today. That was followed by a homicide in the 3500 block of 14th Street, and then a few days later we had the homicide over in our 7th district on Buena Vista, the 3100 block of Buena Vista. So that is a very violent felon. I have to say, hats off to our homicide detectives for pursuing that case and being able to bring a successful case over to the courthouse to be able to prosecute him, take him off the streets.
What led to his arrest in Michigan? Was he arrested for something else?
He was held as he was arrested as a fugitive from justice. So we communicate across the country when we have an outstanding warrant, and if he's located, we have people actually going out and locate him. So he was located, arrested as a fugitive, and then brought here and charged for the homicides.
How'd you guys track him down?
That kind of detail, we can't talk about that. I know you'd love to hear that. Sorry.
Mayor Bowser? Yes. Been one, some states who advocate to use them to stop the violence. In terms of conflict resolution and young people with disagreements that they have, what advice can you give them and their parents?
Well, this is what we should focus on. We have a 17 and an 18-year-old involved here, and we have one of them who's dead. So this is not child's play. We have an 18-year-old who's going to be charged with murder tomorrow. And so we want all of the young people in our schools to know that when you kind of have a childhood, going back and forth, and I don't know the motives behind this. I don't know what caused this fight, but I know whatever it wasn't important enough for a 17-year-old to be dead and one to have signed her life away. And so we have to have everybody recognize that a fight that you may have had when you were in school is very different when you're out on the street and you're using a deadly weapon.
Again, we can't talk about evidence in the case, but that information will become available, probably through court documents tomorrow. Okay, thank you all very much. Appreciate it.